Welcome to the Speak Like a Leader podcast with John Bates. Welcome to the show. With me today is Kijuan Amey, and he is the Chief Motivational Officer at Amey Motivation. He's a resilience coach and the author of Don't Focus on Why Me, From Motorcycle Accident to Miracle. He was an airman in the U.S. Air Force, and he has a very inspiring, if sometimes difficult, story. Kijuan, thank you for joining me.
John, I truly appreciate you having me on your platform to share my story.
Well, you're welcome. I'm happy to have you. I do think it's a really inspiring, if difficult, story. Do you want to tell us? Should we just start with that? Like, there you were in the Air Force, things were going great, and then what happened?
Yeah, it's interesting you say there you were because that's how we tell stories in the military. We literally stand in front of the audience or in front of the bar, as we call it, and we say, "So there I was." That's how we open the story.
Yeah.
So that's literally how we open up. So there I was, May 5th, 2017. What some might call Cinco de Mayo, I call my new life journey
Oh,
because that's when a lot of things would change for me, where I would have a life altering change. What is this change I'm speaking of? This is the motorcycle accident that I wrote about in my book. And on said day, I also was a business owner before Amy Motivation, and I had a business called Kiwi Enterprise. At
hmm.
this business, I did social media marketing, website design and management, and photography for small businesses. And so on that day, I actually went to go take some pictures of um, some actual land and exterior shots to update the website for a website that I was managing. And I was going to update it that weekend while I
Uh-huh.
was working for the Air Force in my free time.
Uh-huh.
I know everybody's like, "Wait, you got free time in the military?" Yes, you have free time.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
can't work all day long, and if you do, it's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
I was definitely going to, do that as well as, my commitment for that weekend with the Air Force. And at this time, I was in the reserves. I was in the Air Force Reserve. I did 4 years
Okay.
active, and I
Uh-huh.
switched over to the reserve side. Uh, so
And
uh,
just to ask you, what was it you did for those 4 years? Like, what was your
yeah.
your focus?
Well, actually, my entire tenure,
Yeah.
because not just the 4 on active, the entire time I was in the Air Force, I only did 1 job, which
Uh-huh.
was and I say 1 job, I'll put it this way, 1, uh, Air Force specialty code.
Right. Okay.
Because
Yeah.
that's
There you go.
yeah, because that's what it's called, a AFSC, Air Force Specialty Code, and, that was in-flight refueling specialist.
That's
And this
pretty
is
crazy.
where yeah, this is where you would refill planes in midair. So, you pull up to a gas station, on the ground.
Yeah.
This is where you would pull up to one in the air.
Yeah. Right. With both of you moving pretty fast.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. We are moving pretty darn fast, and, along with the elements, not
Yeah.
it's not always clear days, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
turbulence, there's clouds, there's whatever kind of things that could, potentially pop up.
Uh-huh.
Even some malfunctions could pop up,
Yeah. Yeah.
with the planes. And, mechanics are, I mean, basically built
Mm.
from humans, so anything could go
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
You hope it doesn't, but
Yeah.
if it does, it's now time to operate like a professional, like we always do.
Yeah. There you
So
go.
this was one of the most amazing jobs I'd ever, had a part of being in. I would tell you
Yeah.
that.
Tell
Uh,
us what it was like. Like, what was that like? There you are. You're at the back of what is it? Is it a KC 130 or what?
I was in the KC 135. They have the
Uh-huh.
KC 135, the KC 10, and the now KC 46. That's the
Uh-huh.
newest plane that they
Okay.
just added to the fleet. And that one is supposed to I'm guessing replace both of them eventually,
Uh-huh.
but they're having trouble, to say the
Yeah, I
least.
saw something about that.
When you start, and this is how I put it, with all this updated technology and stuff, you put a whole bunch of technology in the plane and you forget to make it fly.
Right. Yeah, oops. Yeah, the most
I think
important
the
piece.
purpose of this thing,
Yeah, right.
you know what I'm saying? And so
Yeah.
I love the KC-135. It's out of the three that I mentioned, it's the oldest, or
Uh-huh.
shall I say eldest.
Uh-huh.
Um, I called it my dinosaur. I still do today. That's
Uh-huh.
my dinosaur. That thing's approaching 70 years
Holy smoke.
of being in service. They started
Wow.
building it in 1955. So 70 years. And
And so and and it's been adapted for a lot of different uses, right?
yeah, yeah. And it's interesting that you say adapted. So I don't know if you remember the SR-71.
Yeah. Yeah, the
That
is that
plane took
the
special fuel.
uh-huh.
It didn't take the same fuel as everybody else.
Uh-huh.
So they made KC-135s specifically for that plane, and they were called
Wow.
the Q models. They were KC-135 Q models.
Uh-huh.
And so, they had those. They had, and then it even had like a special light, like a control, a toggle light that
Uh-huh.
me being the boom operator, I could control,
Uh-huh.
because if you're in these high risk operation areas and you're feeling this plane, you don't want it to be seen.
Yeah, yeah.
You definitely don't want to be seen. I don't want to be seen because I can't do anything. That thing can
Right.
fly fast. I can't go as
Yeah.
fast as him.
Yeah, yeah.
you know? And
Yeah.
so one of my favorite stories is about the SR-71, but of course I wish I could have refueled it, but it's one that I heard about.
Uh-huh.
It's so amazing, man, what those freaking planes were capable of doing as far as how fast they could go.
Oh my gosh.
And so I, the KC-135 went from an A model, I think, to it was either B or E, one of the two.
Uh-huh.
And that's basically a change of engines. Then they went to the did they go to the R model after that? I think they went to the R model after that, which is what I flew on.
Uh-huh.
And when I tell you the night and day difference between an E model engine and an R model engine,
A big
not
difference, huh?
not just size wise, but the power to get that sucker off the ground.
Yeah.
It was so different because you're just putting along the runway with those E model engines. You're just like, I hope we get out for this runway.
Uh-huh.
And then with the R model engine, it's like, oh yeah, plenty of room.
Yeah, zoom, huh?
Look, you're not even worried. You're just like, hey, so what you guys doing later on?
Yeah, yeah.
you know, I remember a story from one of the guys that uh I guess he was a retired guy that I ran into. And yeah, he was a retired guy. I was on a plane flight back home from San Antonio, Texas, back to North Carolina. And he used to be I think he was a maintenance guy, so a crew chief on one of those planes in the E model days when they had E model engines. He said,
Uh-huh.
"Man, I seen that thing go off the runway in Guam, and and the runway in Guam is basically going right off the edge
Uh-huh.
of a cliff.
Yeah.
Is how and right over the water. And so he said, I saw that thing go off the runway. And with the E model engines, they were what they call the water. They call that plane the water wagon because that's basically how those engines work. They operate off of water. And so it created this big old black smoke cloud behind it when this sucker's
Uh-huh.
going down the runway. And when it went off the runway, all you seen was that smoke cloud, and then you didn't see the plane anymore because the plane dropped down
Drop. Wow.
off that off that runway, and then you saw it pulling away from the water, and you were
Oh,
like, "Whew, man, it made
yeah.
it." Like that's all you think. Oh man, it made it.
Yeah.
Yes. What? Like who wants that?
So happier to be on the R model.
oh, buddy, I've been there, Guam. Never once
Yeah.
did I experience that.
Yeah, yeah.
Not
That's
with those
good.
R model engines. Those things are strong. 22,000 pounds of thrust for each engine, and we had four of them.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
22. We could fly on one engine if we're below 200,000 pounds gross weight.
Wow.
hmm
Wow. That's amazing.
And that plane can carry up to 322.5 thousand pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, that's to include fuel, cargo, everything.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah,
Well,
so
so
amazing
you were
plane.
at the back and you would kind of aim the boom and then the pilot would fly up and you'd kind of get those things together and then they'd have to fly along with you for as long as it took to
Yeah,
get
I would
them
have to
full again.
coordinate it. Yeah, we were coordinating everything, and I'm the man who made the magic happen, is what we
Yeah.
call it. So, um, yeah, I go from the cockpit, walk to the back of the airplane, crawl down into a crawl space like a cubby hole, and
Uh-huh.
then you lay in the middle of the airplane, open up a
Uh-huh.
window, like a sighting window. There's a glass there. It's not like
Uh-huh.
get hit in the face with air, but
Uh-huh.
you open up a glass and you can see out the back of that window. When you open up the window, that turns on all the hydraulic fluid and
Uh-huh.
the electric pulley stuff that goes with the cable unit
Uh-huh.
back there for that stuff to work. Because
Uh-huh.
when it's closed, it kicks all the hydraulic fluid back to the rest of the airplane for it to operate.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
You know, and so uh, when you open that window, all my hydraulic fluid capabilities are on now. I can now lower the boom, is what
Uh-huh.
we call it, is lower
Yeah.
the
Lower the
boom.
boom.
So lower the boom down. That's why they also call us boom operators, since that's
Uh-huh.
what
Yeah.
that attachment is called to the airplane. It's called a boom.
Uh-huh.
So they call
Uh-huh.
us the boom operator. And
Yeah.
then we lower it down into the field of view, and then we can control it with two control hand controls. Our right hand is what flies it around.
Uh-huh.
The left hand is what extends it and retracts it.
Okay.
So um, it can extend out an extra 20 feet.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, and we can fly that thing pretty good. It flies
Yeah.
around pretty well, but you want to stay in a nice tight envelope, because
Yeah.
you get too far outside or somewhere, it can get it can get bound up,
Oh, okay.
and it's
Yeah.
hard to get loose.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now that plane is taking it with it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
taking the
Yeah. There
boom
goes your
because
boom.
the boom is only held on by one bolt.
Uh-huh.
Now hear me clearly,
Purposefully,
it's a
probably.
large bolt, but it's
Yeah.
only one.
Uh-huh.
For reasons of what I just said, like
Yeah.
if it needs to come off, it needs to come off,
Yeah. Better
because
lose the
sometimes
boom
we don't
than
want to be
yeah.
connected forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd rather them have the boom than two planes connected.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But anywho, I control that. I call they come into the field of view. The plane behind me is 50 feet away from me, where it stays there until I clear it in to contact.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
And so I clear it into contact, and as they're coming in close, I'm calling in to my pilots where the plane is. I'm saying, okay, he's coming in from 50 feet,
Mhm.
40, 30, 20, 10, and that's how it should go. It should start
Yeah.
slowing down
Yeah.
as they come in. And then when he gets to 10, I should be able to give them a 5 foot call, because that's how slow they should be moving in. But if I
Uh-huh.
can't give them a 5 foot call, that means they came in a little too fast.
Uh-huh.
But you say 10, 5, and then you should feel it. Like the pilots should feel me make contact,
Uh-huh.
because the plane will kind of get like bumped,
Yeah. Yep.
and so they're like, yep, contact.
Yeah. Okay.
and,
Cool.
and so we stay together until whatever, however long, depending on the plane, however long it
Yeah.
takes for them to get refueled. Now, the most I've ever offloaded in one take is 100,000 pounds of fuel.
Wow. That's a pretty big bunch of fuel.
Yeah, it was to a B1.
Okay. All right.
now B1s on takeoff, pretty much they burn up all that gas.
Just to take off, huh?
Just to take, they've got
Yeah.
of those big old fighter engines. Instead of just having like 2, they got 4,
Yeah.
man, and when I tell you
Yeah.
that flame be, like, super long out the back of that thing,
Uh-huh.
it's impressive to watch. I
Oh, I
love seeing
bet.
it take off.
Yeah, yeah.
We used to watch them take off because they have to take off before us.
Uh-huh.
We take off after them, so they'll line
Uh-huh.
up on the runway, and you see them push that power up, and then
Just wow, yeah.
big old long flame with the rings. It's got
Yeah.
rings in the
Yeah.
flame. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so cool. It is so
Yeah.
cool. And
So they
so
take off and then they immediately have to come get some more fuel from you.
eventually, when I was deployed, because that's where I would refuel them. When I was
Uh,
deployed, it took us about 2 hours to get to the place where we had to go to refuel them because you
uh-huh.
can't refuel on what we call the boulevard.
Yeah.
That's where that's the pathway we take to get there. So
Yeah.
once we're getting close to the boulevard, they start calling up to the air traffic controllers and trying to slow down and get drop down low.
Yeah.
This way, they can be underneath us already, and we can fly
Yeah.
over top of them.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
then they
cool.
just come up into position, and I'm already headed to the back by that time.
Yeah.
Oh,
How
it's so amazing.
how long does 100,000 pounds of fuel take to load onto that thing? Is that like a 15-minute thing or a 50-minute thing?
Uh, well, first off, it depends on the pilot
Yeah, okay.
that's
All
flying
right.
the B-1. So
Yeah.
it depends on how good they are.
Okay.
And hold on one second, Alexa, what is 100,000 divided by 7,000?
From answers.com. So, 100,000 divided by 7 billion is 0.001.
Alexa, what is 100,000 divided by 7,000?
From answers.com. So, 100,000 divided by 7 billion is 0.
Alexa, stop. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, it's
I'll,
crazy,
I'll do
right?
it. I'll do it
I'll
right here.
do
I
it with
got a
my phone.
calculator.
Dominoes, 8 minutes ago.
What is 100,000 divided by 7,000?
100,000 divided by 7,000 is approximately 14.2857.
So
Yeah.
14 and a
Audio
half
here.
minutes, basically.
14 and a half minutes. So I mean,
Basically.
that's a lot of that's a long time to like be flying together and doing that, but like that's pretty fast. That's
Yeah.
7,000 gallons a minute or pounds a minute.
Pounds per minute.
Wow. That's cool.
So
Well,
so yeah.
so you had this like life in the Air Force, and then you went to the Air Force Reserve, and you were also doing this social media and all that kind of stuff. And you went out to take these pictures.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Well, after I got done taking the pictures, I wanted to. I was on my motorcycle, as you can probably imagine now, considering the book title.
Yeah.
But I wanted to continue riding my bike because it was such a nice day, and I live in North Carolina, like I mentioned before.
Yeah.
And here in the spring, oh, you can have really great days, like of nice breezes and not too hot, cloud coverage, or you can have really rainy days
Yeah.
where it's
Yeah.
really humid and muggy. It's
Yeah.
like bleh.
Yeah.
And so this was one of the nicer days. And so I wanted to ride my bike just a little bit more. And the reason I say a little bit more is because from my apartment complex to where I went to go take the pictures was only about a 10-minute ride.
Uh-huh.
And so I was like, there's no way I'm putting this thing back in the garage.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I felt like I didn't even warm the oil up yet.
Yeah.
And so, anywho, I go to a lake here in North Carolina called Jordan Lake.
Uh-huh.
And I always go there. It was just one of those places I went to relax and just kind of meditate, think, just be to myself a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And the book cover shows that image of where I was.
Uh-huh.
Yes, that's my motorcycle on that cover, the actual one I had the accident on,
Uh-huh.
but that is also the dock from which I had left from. That
Okay.
was the exact place I had left from right before I had my accident.
Okay.
So now, so that lets you know I did make it there.
Yeah.
I just didn't make it back home.
Yeah.
And so as I'm riding, trying to get back home to get my clothes and everything for work, because yes, I had to work for the military that weekend.
Uh-huh.
A silver Honda Accord would pull out in front of me as I'm running about 55 miles an hour,
Oh.
which was the speed limit, by the way. I was not
Uh,
speeding. For all of
yeah.
those who think crotch rocket riders just speed all day long,
Yeah.
because there are all those people who have those outlandish mindsets, but
Yeah.
whatever, to each his own.
Yeah.
I'm running actually the posted speed limit. That was the posted speed limit, 55.
Uh,
I
yeah.
wasn't even doing 60.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like most people do, they do 5 over or something. And
Right.
so I'm doing that speed and this car pulls out in front of me last minute. There's nothing. I
Yeah.
tell you, there's really nothing I could have truly done unless I'm just like some amazing stunt rider or something and I know how to maneuver a bike at the best. This was my 3rd year riding.
Uh-huh.
I'm not that seasoned.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I used to ride dirt bikes when I was younger,
Yeah.
but that's dirt bikes. I wasn't on the street.
Yeah.
I wasn't on the street. I was on trails.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
And so, let's see. So from there, got pulled out in front of me, and I took all those safety courses. The motorcycle safety courses that you're
Yeah.
supposed to take. And
Yeah.
the thing that I like to explain to people and to harp on is that with those safety courses, yes, I learned how to stop on a dime or with a quick reaction.
Yeah.
Yes, I learned how to do maneuvers and duck and dodge.
Yeah.
Yes, they teach you how to do the figure 8.
Yeah.
That's cool and all, but those are at parking lot speeds.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not at 55 miles an hour.
No, which is pretty fast.
Way faster.
Yeah.
I don't even think I got up to 20. I might have got up to 20 miles per hour on that bike that I did the practice stuff on.
Yeah. 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 Totally.
Might have. And that was pushing it. Because
Yeah.
it was just like a 250 Buell.
Yeah.
And if anybody knows what a Buell is, that thing ain't just jumping up.
Yeah.
It's not jumping up like a Kawasaki Ninja, okay?
No, no.
So
So this guy, did he pull out of a road or a driveway or
an
what
intersection.
was it? Okay, an
He pulled out
intersection.
from an intersection, and the reason I know that's from the police report because there were
Yeah.
2 cars behind him
Uh-huh.
that on the police report they stated they saw me coming down the road, so they don't know why he didn't.
Oh man.
That was on the police report,
And he
so
just
that's why
pulled
I
out
know
in
for
front of you.
sure it
Yeah.
was at an intersection.
Yeah. Cuz you probably don't remember really much
Oh
of
no,
what. Yeah.
not probably. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I can tell you for sure I do not remember. And
So then
it's actually a good thing that I don't because
uh,
I would probably relive that nightmare every day.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, that's probably true. So did
Mhm.
you come to in the hospital then, or what was the?
Yeah, after that medically induced coma wore off,
Yeah.
I was in a medically induced coma for a month.
Wow.
So from May 5th until June the 6th, didn't even know I was still in the world.
Yeah.
Had no
Wow.
clue I was still on Earth.
Yeah.
People told me I was responding to them. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how. I
Yeah.
guess
Yeah.
just reactions and even one. I got it. One of my friends, him and his girlfriend, they came to see me, and she said I yanked her phone out of her hand because I was trying to tell them something, but they couldn't understand me. So I yanked her
Uh,
phone out of her hand. And remember now, I'm blind. Can't see
yeah.
a thing. I
Yeah.
yanked the phone out of her hand and I went to her text messages and started typing and then I gave it back to her.
Oh
She
wow.
said I might have missed 1 or 2 words the whole text.
Wow. So
How crazy is that?
that's crazy.
Yeah, and
Well,
so,
so
yeah, that's how I was reacting, but again, I have no
yeah.
recollection of any of this. This is what's
And
being told to me.
and then there you are, and you come to, and it's a month later, and you
Yeah.
are now newly blind.
Phew.
You're severely beat up, and I think that the temptation might be to go, Lord, why me? Why did you do this to me, man?
That was not the temptation. That's what happened.
Yeah, right.
That's actually where the title of my book came from. Don't focus on
Uh-huh.
why me.
Yeah.
That's where it came from, is in the hospital when I was, talking to him and saying, Lord, why would you do this?
Yeah.
Because my faith tells me that God allows things to happen. It's not that, oh, the devil did this, the devil tried.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
God allowed that to happen
Mhm.
because he tests what he makes.
Yeah.
It's almost like a scientist. He's got to test what he's trying to, come up with for the next
Mhm.
big thing.
Yeah.
And so now that I'm being tested, I'm like, why would you allow this to happen to me? What in God's name? Oh, wait, that's your name.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
What would make you do this? I said, I've read the Job experience. I didn't want it.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know anything about Job in the Bible, he had everything.
Yeah.
Job had riches, he had land, he had cattle, he had a wife, he had children. I mean, everything. And had all of it stripped away
Yeah.
because God was like, well, you can, try my servant Job.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll be fine. He's like, what?
Yeah.
He's going to curse you and die. No, not Job. He was like,
Yeah.
you can do whatever you want to him. Just don't touch his soul. That's mine.
Yeah.
And he did that's exactly what the devil did. Everything he could potentially do. And Job did not curse God. Even
Yeah.
when Job's wife told him to do it,
Yeah.
he still held
So
on and faithful.
so was that ultimately your motivation and your what was that? Because there you are, all beat up, saying, why me? What was the realization? What, because like you clearly you wrote a book now called Don't Focus on Why Me. How did you get past that?
Because God said, well, why not you?
Um,
And I'm like, you what?
Yeah.
He's like, if I allowed them to crucify my son, my only begotten son, that I sent down here to save you from your own sins.
Yeah.
When he puts things to perspective, it really just makes you shut up, okay?
Yeah.
It's like nothing else you can really truly say. You see behind me, there are drums.
Yeah.
I've been playing those since I was 7,
Yeah.
and I still play till today.
That's great.
And I'm in my church playing them. Every Sunday I'm home, in town, and I will never stop playing them because that's like my true love, my passion.
Uh-huh.
And that's my, of course, method as well of giving God his praise and worship.
Yeah.
And so with that me still being allowed to do those things,
Uh-huh.
me still being allowed to function, me still being and I say function because listen, every doctor that operated on me counted me out.
Yeah.
And I mean that. They
Yeah.
counted me out. I'm not making this up. I talked to one of them face to face, the one that did my spinal cord surgery. I talked to him face to face. And this was not while I was in the hospital. This was doing a follow up appointment when I got out.
Yeah.
And he was like, wow. And I was like, what? What happened? He was like, well, when they told me to do your surgery, I literally just went in there for protocol.
Yeah. Wow.
Protocol?
Yeah.
Hey doc, don't tell me you did that.
Yeah, right?
Even though I made it, still don't tell me that.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Well,
so
that's how bad it was, right?
absolutely. Absolutely. They were
So
literally just calling everybody. They told my family to
yeah.
call everybody
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
were like, this is it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, so your faith really helped you make it through this.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And now you teach people resilience and
Yep.
motivation and you know, just because, like it's a big country and there are a lot of different, people approach things a lot of different ways. What would what have you learned that you could share with someone who maybe didn't share your particular brand of faith about religion, I mean, about resilience and what you took away from this experience? How could you generalize it for someone like that?
I honestly don't know what to say.
Yeah.
You know why? Because I know there's no other way.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, see, people tend to reach. And what I mean by that is you reach for what's not there. Have you ever felt like, okay, I'm seeing things. I must be seeing things. You know, it's like
Mhm.
literally, I must be seeing things. I'm like cross-eyed right now. What's going on?
Uh, uh,
When you're like that, you need to figure out why you are that way. There's
mhm.
something missing that's making you that way. But when I know what I know, I can't tell you something that's not real.
Yeah.
You know, and I can do my best. I can do whatever I could to try to fabricate something, but that's to
Yeah.
me lying.
Sure, sure.
Why would
So
I?
for
I don't want to
you,
lie to you.
for you, it just comes straight down to faith in that conversation with
Oh
God that
yeah.
you had in that hospital.
Oh yeah. No, seriously. Trust me. We had a real conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not making that up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's really cool. So what tell me a little bit about your resilience coaching and your business. Like who do you usually work with? What kind of stuff do you focus on? What you who usually calls you?
Yeah, no, I mean resilience coaching, that's anybody who needs it. You know,
Uh-huh.
if you feel that you don't well, first off, if you don't understand resilience, that's the ability to bounce back.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't know how to bounce back, that's where I come in.
Yeah.
I'm here to help you bounce back. I
Yeah.
can guide
Yeah.
you through how to bounce back because the way I see it is, for example, if you're trying to tell me how to be a pilot and you've never flown a plane, I
Yeah.
don't want to learn from you.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't want nothing to do with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Not
but
for that, right?
but if you have over 10,000 flying hours and you're teaching me, you
Yeah.
got some experience.
Yeah. And you definitely have some experience when it comes to
Exactly.
bouncing back.
Exactly. Look, figuratively and literally.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I tend to tell people, listen, don't just look at me as I'm out here, just trying to call or claim myself as a resilience coach. I am resilient.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's not
clearly.
the coach is just what they gave, what the world gave me. I am resilient.
Yeah.
I'm gonna coach you. So it's it's to really just show and teach people how to be resilient or to increase it because some
S
people already are.
so what do you notice that maybe across the people that you've worked with, what's maybe one thing about being resilient that you've noticed that yourself saying to people a lot, or what's some of the coaching that you think's the most important coaching that you give people who are having a hard time bouncing back?
Yeah, the first thing I always tell people is never give up
Yeah,
because that's like
good.
the first thing that I hear. Man, I just
Yeah,
want to give up.
yeah,
Yeah, I did too
yeah. Right. I mean,
until I didn't.
yeah, exactly.
And I say that it's not to be funny, it's to say that
Mm,
I did want to give up. I had depressed thoughts. I had suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
Hear me clearly. Had.
Yeah.
Because once I realized there was a purpose for me still being here,
Yeah.
it was time for me to get rid of those.
Yeah.
And so when I'm talking to people who want to come to me for resilience coaching, even for the speaking, when my
Uh-huh.
speaking engagements,
Yeah.
I lay it out. Listen, you're going to be faced with tough days.
Yeah.
I know you will because I've been there.
Yeah.
What you have to do is find a way to remove yourself from it. If it's calling me, call me. If it's listening to your favorite song in the whole wide world and getting up and starting to dance, do it. If it's going outside and putting your feet on some grass and just letting the wind blow on you, do it.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, figure it out
Yeah.
because that is your reset button.
Yeah.
And that's how I look at it. I was like, you have to find a reset button. Now, these drums, that is a
Uh-huh.
huge reset button for me.
Yeah.
Because not only does it put me in music, which I love music, I absolutely love
Yeah.
music. So it puts me in my headspace for music, but it also allows me to release stress because I can bang
Yeah.
on something.
Yeah. Yeah. I think drumming's a particularly great release. You know?
Yes. Listen, man, people be looking at me all kinds of different ways when I'm at church.
Yeah.
Just about what was that? Was that Mother's Day week Sunday?
Yeah.
I think it was Mother's Day Sunday. Or
It just
no, the
was.
Sunday before Mother's Day.
Uh-huh.
So I was lighting them drums on fire at my
Yeah.
church.
Uh-huh.
And it was to the point where even one of the deacons had to say something. And
Yeah.
this was doing service. This wasn't even at the service.
Uh-huh.
This was doing the service. He said, Kijuan, man, you over there tearing them drums up.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't do nothing but laugh, man. Cause at first I didn't realize he was talking to me. I
Uh-huh.
was in the zone, and I was just like, man. But again, that is my outlet.
Yeah.
And Lord knows, I told somebody this the other day, God's honest truth. If I couldn't do it anymore, I don't know what I would do.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Yeah. That's your outlet. Well, you mentioned that too, right after the accident, the fact that you could still do those things like drumming, that meant a lot to you.
Oh yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so is there anything that I didn't ask you about that you'd like to bring up or share with us before we go?
Uh, well, I mean, like we said, we talked about my keynote speaking. I'm, pretty
Yeah.
much a motivational speaker. I do
Yeah.
speak on inspiration and, just resilience and other things like that as well. So,
Yeah.
we talked about that, my business, Amey Motivation. We discussed the resilience coaching. Feel free to reach out to me in the same manner of on my website, amymotivation.com. That's
Yeah.
AMEY motivation.com. And the
We'll put
book,
that
we
in the show
discussed that as
notes.
well. So don't focus on why me from Motorcycle Accident to Miracle. You can find it on Amazon, Kindle, Audible, and Apple Books.
Yeah.
So, that's we discussed pretty much everything. And I just truly appreciate you allowing me to share my information, share my life, and just purpose with everyone because that's
Yeah.
truly what this is about.
Well, I agree. And I think that, I think that it's pretty easy for any of us to kind of get caught up in the day to day of things and not really realize just how good we have it. There's that saying that I remind myself of. Imagine if somebody took everything from you, your life, your family, your money, your house, like everything, just took everything from you. Imagine how you'd feel. And then imagine how you'd feel if they gave it all right back, just
Mm,
like it was, right? And you didn't quite get that. You
mhm.
got the take everything from you part pretty good. and you didn't get quite everything back in that way, but I love to I'm really inspired by you being grateful for what you did get back and that motivation that you have and that resilience that you share. And I just think it's such an important lesson for every one of us. You don't have to be in a motorcycle accident or have a near death experience to be really, really grateful for your life. Right.
You're right.
So, thanks for making that way more obvious for us with your stories and with what you share.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Well, listen, we'll put all that stuff in the show notes. And we're coming up on our time, so I will wrap it up now. But I want to thank you, Kijuan, for joining us, and thanks for sharing the stories about refueling and giving us a little glimpse into that world too.
Yeah. Listen, that was just a small glimpse.
Yeah. By the way, can you tell us that story about that you heard about the SR-71? You brought up a story.
Absolutely.
Do you want to share it? Okay.
Yeah, I could definitely tell you that story. It was so cool. So this is back during the Cold War stuff, man,
Yeah.
because the SR-71 is a reconnaissance plane.
Yeah, that's
And
the Blackbird, right?
yep,
And
Blackbird.
it just is super ridiculously ultra hyper fast
Mhm.
and
So
apparently
fast.
not super easy to fly.
Well, so fast that when it would hit those high speeds, it would heat up the panels so much that when
Yeah.
they finally slowed down, they would expand to the point where it would like allow fuel to leak out.
Oh man, wow.
That's why that plane went into decommission because it took so much money to keep it flying.
Right.
It always was in sheet metal getting
Yeah.
fixed,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so they were like, yeah, this thing is too costly.
Yeah.
But the story.
Yeah.
So the SR-71 is flying over in over Europe. I think it just passed through Asia to come through Europe to go back to one of the bases that it was going to be at in Europe is where I'm thinking it was going to be landing. Well, the French are very finicky about their airspace, okay?
Uh-huh.
And so the SR-71 is going through French airspace to go back to where it's trying to land. Well, it sees a French fighter. One of the guys in the cockpit notices a French fighter off their left wing because it's hearing somebody talking to them over the radio. And it's
Uh-huh.
like, that sounds like a Frenchman. Where are we? They were like, we're over France. And so now everybody's looking out the window.
Uh-huh.
Like, is he talking to us? And so they look out. He's like, hey, guys, we got a guy off of our left wing. And so the pilot was like, he looks back. And they were trying to make them land in France.
Uh-huh.
And so the pilot looked back and he chucked up a middle finger
Oh.
and slammed the throttles.
Yeah.
And before that guy could even think about pushing his throttles up, they were out of French airspace.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how fast that plane was. Oh
That
my
is
gosh.
how fast it is, man. Before he could even think about catching up to that thing, it was already out of French airspace.
They were gone. Yeah.
And he had the French fighter had to peel back before he broke the border.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's
it was so cool, man.
That plane was a distinct advantage in the Cold War. I think it made it made an impact.
That and the U-2.
Yeah.
Which the U-2 is still flying, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're still flying that thing, and it goes up to, I think they said somewhere around 80,000 feet.
Yeah.
That's crazy because that's pressure suit. You need pressure suits to go up that high.
Yeah.
And my youngest brother, who's like I told you, he's in the Air Force now. He was stationed at in South Korea with where they are.
Uh-huh.
And so he was like, "Yeah, it's cool to see those things. They're so they're weird looking."
Yeah, they're really weird looking
because they're very sleek.
Yeah,
very
kind of hard to see almost, right?
Yeah, it's very like a very sleek aircraft.
Yeah.
So it's really skinny.
Yeah.
So if you spot it, boy, you good.
Yeah.
Especially up at an altitude that high,
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of the amazing stories. And then with Airy Feeling, an amazing story with Airy Feeling, I'll
Uh-huh.
give you this one and I'm gonna leave you alone. So it's the F4 Phantom.
Uh-huh. I love
So
that plane.
yeah, yeah. This is going back in time here. So the
Yeah.
F4 Phantom is going across the pond, which is what we say when we're, traveling across the oceans. And they're going
Uh-huh.
from America over to Europe. So that's crossing Atlantic.
Uh-huh.
And I can't remember how many F4s there were. It might have been 4 of them total. But they always you got to cycle through to get your fuel,
Uh-huh.
and this this last one he got his fuel and was chilling off the wings, off the wingtips. And that's what they
Uh-huh.
sit at. They sit on our wingtips.
Uh-huh.
Just they off to the side and just below.
Uh-huh.
And guy calls up. He's like, "Hey, boom, is it possible that you can get our guy some fuel?" And it's like, I mean, it's not time for refueling, but okay. He's like, "Yeah, no, he's got an engine that just crapped out on him." He's like, "What?" And so, okay, well, I'm on the way back. And so this guy, his engine, well, I think they only have 2 on that plane.
They have 2, yeah.
And his engine craps out. So he's literally flying like this,
Like
like
kind of
sideways.
sideways. Yeah.
And so he's trying to fly, but he's able to fly straight, but at a
Yeah.
cocked
Yeah.
angle. Because you can fly planes that way because of the rudder
Yeah.
and the control surfaces.
Yeah.
And so they call it a crab.
Uh-huh.
And so anywho, he's flying that thing like that. But the other thing is, since he just not too long ago grabbed fuel, his plane is heavy.
Oh, yeah.
So with only one engine, this is descending
Yeah. Oh.
at the same time. And he's got that other engine pushed all the way up. Like firewall is what we call it. He's
Uh-huh.
firewalling that engine. And it's not going up.
Yeah.
So it's descending. And they're over water now. They're not over Europe yet.
Yeah.
Close, but not there yet. And
Uh-huh.
so this thing is descending. And the pilot calls up. He's like, "Hey guys, I can't hold altitude. My plane's not able to keep altitude." And he's like, "Is there any way y'all could get me on the boom and just kind of tow me in?" And we call that a fighter tow. You can
Uh-huh.
tow the fighters. And
Wow.
so what you do is you manually connect the boom to the airplane, the other airplane, and
Uh-huh.
they latch onto you. It's an emergency procedure,
Uh-huh.
a
Wow.
fighter tow.
I
So
did not know they could do that.
yep, yep. And so they as they're descending, and when I say getting low, they're getting low,
Uh-huh.
and they're both of the planes are going down low, 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 and the boom is trying to do his best to coordinate where this plane is so he can tell the pilots in the front, "Hey
Uh-huh.
man, just keep descending, keep going down. I am not able to get this guy. Like keep
Uh-huh.
going." They're like, "Boom, we are getting low." He's like, "He is about to be in the water if we don't get him."
Uh-huh.
And so he's like trying his best to get him, and he's not getting him. And the fighter pilot, the F4 Phantom, he says, "Hey guys, I'm just gonna mark my last known location, and I'm gonna punch."
Uh-huh.
He was ready to eject right over the
Yeah.
Atlantic.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm gonna go ahead and mark my last known location, and I'm gonna punch, guys." And you could hear it in his voice, like he's done.
Yeah.
He didn't want to, but what other choice do you have?
Yeah.
And so the boom operator is like, "Hold on, don't do it just yet. We can try." And so they keep trying, and they're below 10,000 feet now.
Yeah, which is pretty scary.
Heck yeah, they get down to I think somewhere around 4, eventually like 4,000 feet,
Uh-huh.
to the point where the freaking fighter pilot says, "Man, I could see fish jumping out of the water." And I was like, "Nah, that's scary."
Yeah, that's scary.
And so they get him. Click, contact, climb, climb, climb.
Uh-huh.
And they start pulling that fighter right back up to
Wow.
altitude. And they towed
Wow.
him all the way to Europe.
Wow.
Listen, when they landed, that pilot bought all of them
Yeah,
beers.
but I'm
He was
buying
like,
drinks,
beers
fellas. Yeah.
all night on me.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
You know,
wow.
but those are the stories, man.
Yeah.
And that's what
Yeah.
we do. We
That's
as
yep.
our Airman's Creed says, we never leave an airman behind.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
one of those stories right there.
Yeah. That's a great story. Well, and that's one thing I love about veterans is you guys know how to do something like your life depends on it. And I think that's relatively rare out there in the civilian world these days.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know?
absolutely. Absolutely.
So, well, so thank you for sharing all your stories, and thank you as well for your service and your sacrifice.
Thank you.
And I, appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, no problem. Again, I appreciate you having me.
Awesome. And to those of you listening, thank you for joining us, because without you, none of this makes any difference. So tell your friends, give us a 5-star rating. That really helps us reach more people. And we will talk to you, hear you, see you next time on Live Like a Leader.show. Thank you for joining the Speak Like a Leader podcast. Go be awesome.